na 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 now 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 na 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 na. Okay, everybody. Hey, today is a very special day. Today I'm reviewing The Karate Kid, the original, the one that started it all. I love this movie to death. Okay, we all know the story of Karate Kid. It's about this kid named Daniel LaRusso who moves with his mother to the San Fernando Valley in Los Angeles, California, from Newark, New Jersey. And then, he meets this guy named Freddie Fernandez, and Freddie invites Daniel to this beach party that's happening, the day before where school starts, and Daniel goes. And while there, Daniel meets a nice and pretty girl named Allie, and the two of them, they hit it off and become friends. But then, and Allie's mean ex-boyfriend Johnny shows up, and what's really makes this really bad for Daniel is that Johnny is a black belt in karate, and he's the top student at the Cobra Kai dojo, which is a dojo led by the psychotic sensei John Kreese. And students there are taught a form of karate that teaches them to strike first, strike hard, and show their enemies no mercy. So then Johnny, and he beats Daniel up at the beach. And then, when Daniel starts school, Johnny and his cronies in the Cobra Kai dojo, they harass and bully Daniel until, one night, when they chase Daniel all the way to his house from the Halloween dance at school, and they beat him up to do. But lucky for Daniel, Mr. Miyagi, who's this old Asian guy who works at Daniel's apartment complex as a handyman, he happens to be there, and he saves Daniel from his tormentors. And then Daniel gets Miyagi to agree to train him Daniel gets Miyagi to agree to teach him karate so he can defend himself. And then Daniel and Miyagi, they go over to the Cobra Kai dojo, and they negotiate a deal with Sensei Kreese where they agree that Daniel will face off against Cobra Kai at the All Valley Karate Tournament, and that Cobra Kai will leave Daniel alone until the tournament so he can train. And so then Miyagi begins training Daniel, and he trains him by teaching all these unconventional methods that you wouldn't think would have anything to do with karate. Like he has Daniel wax cars, he has him paint his fence, and he has him sand the floor. And Daniel, naturally, he's like, what's this? I'm being your goddamn slave. That's all I'm being. And then Miyagi, he shows, okay, show me wax on, wax off. And Daniel blocks it. And then it comes to the realization that Daniel was learning karate this whole time. And it was really clever how they did that. And then, another scene when Daniel, he sees Miyagi practicing the crane technique, and then Daniel later practices it on his own. And then, the tournament happens, and Daniel, and he coasts through the tournament, makes it through the semifinals. Then he faces off against Bobby, who is while he is a bully, he's not as vicious as the others, and he was the one guy who during the scene when Johnny and the others are beating up Daniel, he's the one guy who goes like, "Leave him alone, man. He's had enough." And this scene, Kreese orders Bobby to injure Daniel's knee, saying put him out of commission. Bobby doesn't want to do it. He goes like, "I'll be disqualified." He's like, out of commission. So Bobby does it anyway, and then he immediately regrets it and apologizes to Daniel. But then Daniel is sent back to the locker room, and further think, okay, you can't compete anymore. But then Daniel begs Miyagi, please do that healing technique you do, because every time I see those guys, they're gonna know they got the best of me. Yeah, I'll never have balance that way. So Miyagi does this, and heals his leg, and then Daniel fights in the final match against Johnny, and Daniel gets the upper hand, scores the first 2 points, but then Kreese tells Johnny, sweep the leg, and even Johnny at this point is thinking, okay, this is wrong, but Johnny sweeps it anyway, and he gains a couple points on Daniel, and it's 2-2, and Johnny even does an elbow to Daniel's knee, and that's gotta hurt. And then then he wins, and Daniel does the crane kick, and beats Johnny, and he's the new All Valley champ, and everyone's celebrating. And he's like, "Hey, Mr. Miyagi, we did it!" Yeah, then he winks, and then in credits, so now I'm gonna talk about what I love about this movie. For one, I really like the character of Daniel. And I really, every time I watch this, I feel so bad for him because he gets such a raw deal throughout this movie. Not even just with the bullying, just the way people treat him. For example, the guy who went to Freddie Fernandez, as after Daniel gets his ass kicked by Johnny on the beach, Freddie and their friends, although Freddie kind of looks bad, but his friends are like, "You sure pick cool people to be friends with, Freddie. Where'd you find this guy?" And then the next day, when Daniel's at school, on the soccer field during soccer tryouts, they tease Daniel. He goes like, "Hey, Karate Kid, show me the moves. How about now we get his butt whooped? Oh, I already know that move." And also his only friend at school is Allie. Yeah, at that point, and Allie's friends they don't like Daniel. Well, because he's not as rich as them, because they're just snobbish like that. In one scene at the Halloween dance, when Allie recognizes, oh hey, that's Daniel in the shower costume, and she goes to go see him, they say, "I don't know what she sees in him. He must be into fungus." And also Allie's parents don't like Daniel either, because as he's not some rich kid like Johnny. And with all that stuff going on, it makes Daniel's victory so crowd pleasing. And one of the cool things is Freddie and his friends, that they're in the audience of the tournament, that they begin cheering for Daniel. And even Allie's friends, they start cheering for Daniel too. And that was really cool. Well, and Freddie and his friends, they even they greet Daniel, after he wins, and they're the ones holding him up. And another cool thing is Johnny gives Daniel the trophy. Yeah, and another thing I like about this movie is Mr. Miyagi, him and Daniel have great chemistry. And I mean, he really is like a father figure. And one of the best scenes in the movie is when, you know, Daniel goes to visit Miyagi, and Miyagi is drunk, and Miyagi is remembering out loud, like, the night he learned his wife had died. And then Daniel looks at looks at the letter after Miyagi has passed out, fallen asleep, and he learns that Miyagi's wife had died due to complications arriving from childbirth at the Japanese internment camps. So, you know, because, like, for those of you who aren't familiar with the U.S. history during that time, like, after Pearl Harbor, our government instituted this shameful policy of putting Japanese Americans in internment camps. And so, I mean, that is just wrong. Like, punishing an entire community of people just because of the actions of some assholes. You know, I mean, that's just disgusting. But anyways, besides the point. Right, and another thing I really like about this film is Allie, played by Elisabeth Shue. I mean, what's not to like about her? Like, she's a beautiful girl. She is so beautiful. And she's also very nice. She's not snobbish at all. And she goes out with Daniel, and she doesn't care what others think of her relationship with Daniel. She still wants to be with him. She doesn't care that her friends don't approve. She doesn't care that her parents don't approve of him. She loves him. And her and Daniel have great chemistry. Like, I mean, they really do feel like they're in love. And the scene when they first kiss, it's so sweet and heartwarming. Like once you get past the part where it looks like he's trying to eat her face, it really is a very sweet romantic scene. And I also love the scene when they go on the date at golf and stuff. That's great. So, what else? Also, you know, Martin Kove is really great as Kreese. What do we study here? The way of the fifth, sir. And what is that way? Strike first, strike hard, no mercy, sir. Mercy is for the weak. Here, in the streets, in competition, man confronts you. He is the enemy. An enemy deserves no mercy. What is the problem, Mr. Lawrence? Or other was like, this is a karate dojo, not a knitting class. So, yeah, also William Zabka is really good as Johnny. I mean, there's just so much good about this movie. I mean, it's hard to keep up with everything that's great about it. It's so good. Also, like, other things, like, what I like about the character of Daniel, like, I like that, you know, he's kind of short-tempered, that he's kind of hot-headed, that he's kind of got a little bit of a smart mouth, like at the beginning, you know, like, when he's riding in the car with his mom on the way to California, like he... Well, actually, no, a better example is like when they arrive in California, she's like, this is it. This is the end of the line. And he's like, you telling me? And then she's like, did I tell you about the pool here? About 100 times, Mom. Okay, make that 101. Just, yeah, or also like when Allie says, hey, remember that guy you had trouble with on the beach? He's like, oh yeah, King Karate. Just, I like that he's got a bit of a smart aleckness to him. I like that he is a bit cocky, that he is a bit hot-headed. Although a lot of people like to demonize him and call him a bully. I already did a video defending him from those charges. And I'm not going to delve on that too much because I'd be beating a dead horse. But, okay, is he a bit cocky? Yes. Is he a bit of a smartass at times? Maybe, but that doesn't make him a bully. Okay? I mean, he's a nice person. Like, he is not a mean-spirited person in any way, shape, or form. But, okay, another thing like I really like about this movie is the soundtrack. And for one, you got a great score by Bill Conti, and you also got good songs on the soundtrack, such as Cruel Summer. It's a cruel, cruel, cruel summer, yeah. Leaving me here on my own. It's a cruel, cruel summer. And another good song, also No Shelter by Broken Edge. No shelter, got no shelter, got no shelter, got no shelter. And also Feel the Night, feel the night, na 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 na. And also, who can forget? You're the best around. Nothing's ever gonna keep you down. You're the best around. Nothing's ever gonna keep you down. And also the moment of truth during the end credits. It's the moment of truth. You're giving it all. Standing alone, willing to fall. If you can do it, get up and prove it. Get up and show them who you are. It's the moment of truth. Yeah, that's such a great song. I mean, what more can be said about Karate Kid that hasn't already been said? Like, I mean, it's a great movie. Like, and also this is a pretty good DVD. It's got commentary by Ralph Macchio, who plays Daniel, and Pat Morita, who played Mr. Miyagi. And also in the commentary, it's got the director John Avildsen and also the writer Robert Mark Kamen. And it's got a couple featurette. Actually, no, it's got The Way of the Karate Kid, which is a multi-part making of featurette, and Beyond the Form featurette, and also East Meets West, A Composer's Notebook, and also the Life of Bonsai featurette. So it's got a fair amount. This DVD, this is the 2005 special edition DVD. It's got a fair amount of features on it. And like, the only problem I really have with this movie is, like, there was a scene that was cut from this film, which I know there's that new Blu-ray set out. It's got deleted scenes on. I don't know if this deleted scene's on that set though, but I'm gonna talk about this. Like, there's a part of the movie where Daniel and Allie's relationship, it briefly ends because of a misunderstanding. I mean, if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. And there was like one scene that was cut where Daniel confronts her at school. Well, actually, no. Actually, I think it was because Allie, like, walks to Daniel's school and was like, Daniel, please let me explain. And he's not listening. He's just being a dick to her. And she's like, you know, you're being very rude. And he's like, you're all rude. I wish all you would just leave me alone. Like, I don't know. Why would they take that out of the movie? That should have been in the movie. Like, that's really the only problem I have is that scene's not in it. They should have left that in my opinion. But, I'm gonna rate this film. I give it 5 out of 5 because other than that, I really don't have any problems with it. I love this movie. This is a classic. It's a martial arts classic. So yeah, this film has stood the test of time. After it came out 37 years ago, it's still great. This film is a true classic, one that will stand the test of time for generations to come. So, I may have forgotten some stuff to say, but that just shows what a great movie this is because, as you know, there's so much good, you can't name all of them. I mean, there's so much great things about this movie. There's so many great moments, so many memorable scenes, is that you just can't decide which should you mention first. So, yeah, anyways, I hope you enjoyed this review. Ooh, and remember, sweep the leg. Although, I'm going to try to do the crank kick one more time. Yeah! Well, good night, everyone.